A bloodied hand scrapes against the wall, marking the end of a desperate fight. His sacred staff, once a symbol of hope, now falls from the sky completely shattered. The priest of light, Yanyang King, kneels in defeat, the last man standing on a desolate battlefield. He cries out in agony, demanding to know why everything has gone so horribly wrong. His fury is directed at the heavens, accusing a servant of the light of an unthinkable betrayal. The shocking truth is revealed. The goddess of light stands obediently beside the triumphant demon king. She coldly justifies her defection, claiming she simply chose the winning side in a war humans couldn't win. The priest rejects her excuse, roaring that her treachery was the sole reason for their defeat. The demon king smirks, cracking his knuckles as he taunts the lone healer's powerlessness. He then lunges with blinding speed, launching a final, overwhelming assault on the sole survivor. The demon king savors his victory, his glowing eyes filled with cruel amusement. He effortlessly catches the priest, holding the man's entire body in his massive palm. The priest's world explodes in pain as the demon king's grip begins to tighten. In his final moments, the priest's life flashes before his eyes, ending in utter defeat. With a final, crushing clench, the demon king ends the last bastion of humanity. The sheer force of the blow obliterates the priest, leaving nothing behind. A splash of red on the barren ground is all that remains of the once great healer. But just as his consciousness fades, a mysterious system window materializes before him. He questions his own demise, utterly bewildered to find himself aware after such a definitive end. A new message appears, informing him of a forced transfer to a place called the Demon Altar. Yanyang King's new stats as a demon lord are displayed, surprisingly low. His eye glows red, reflecting a drastic change within him. A heavy circular stone slab rests on the ground, seemingly sealed. A large metallic coffin comes into view, adding to the ominous atmosphere. Yanyang King stands in a circular chamber surrounded by several more coffins. He questions the presence of the 10 coffins, sensing something is amiss. A system message reveals he's gained new demonic powers. Yanyang King grapples with the irony of becoming the very thing he fought against. He wonders if this transformation is some form of cosmic retribution. A coffin bursts open, emanating a dark and unsettling energy. He sees the irony in his fate, realizing this demonic power is his only path to revenge against the angels. Fueled by rage, he fiercely accepts his new role as a demon lord. A system message directs him to the center of the altar, preparing him for a return to the human world. Stepping onto the central sigil triggers a violent discharge of crackling blue energy. This vibrant energy then arcs across the chamber, striking one of the sealed coffins. The targeted coffin shudders and glows intensely as the energy courses through its metallic frame. A torrent of power continues to flow, linking the altar's core to the mysterious container. The process culminates in a blinding pillar of golden energy, surging upwards from the altar's heart. Surrounded by this immense power, he vows to return and make the Angel of Light pay for her betrayal. With a cold, determined stare, his crimson eyes signal the beginning of his quest for retribution. A young man stands before a makeshift grave. He judges the deceased for abandoning his comrades. He complains about the lack of a proper gravestone. He reacts to a familiar voice. The deceased Yanyang King appears, much to his surprise. The man is shocked to see Yanyang King alive. Yanyang King confirms his identity. The man expresses his disbelief and grief. Yanyang King learns 5 years have passed. The man questions Yanyang King's low level. A statue of the treacherous goddess of light now stands proudly on a cliffside. As they ride, his friend explains that humanity now worships the angels for their supposed victory over the demons. Yanyang King scoffs at the fabricated history, knowing the truth behind the angels' betrayal. His friend shifts gears, suggesting they celebrate his miraculous return instead of dwelling on the past. He eagerly offers to treat Yanyang King at a new restaurant to mark the occasion. But Yanyang King, his eyes burning with purpose, declares his intent to head straight for a dungeon. His friend agrees but mentions needing cash, hinting at significant changes over the past 5 years. The former priest is left utterly bewildered by this new, unfamiliar world. He's stunned to find the once-open dungeon entrance has been turned into a commercialized, ticketed facility. Yanyang King fumes as he learns the outrageous entry fee and profit cut, decrying it as blatant extortion. His friend retorts that these exorbitant rates have been the norm for 5 long years. Yanyang King lunges in a rage, only to be held back by his friend who warns him not to start a fight. The friend begins to explain the history, starting with how a grand mage sealed the dungeons after a great war. He continues, revealing that over time the seals weakened, allowing monsters to threaten the human world once more. This led to countless adventurers entering the dungeons to keep the monster population in check. He then reveals a personal tragedy, recounting how his own team was wiped out, leaving him as the sole survivor. His friend laments how adventurers once entered freely, but now face exploitation worse than any bandit. He explains that since the Angels' supposed victory, the guilds have become complacent, turning dungeons into cash grabs. Yan Yongqing thanks him for the ticket, but his friend brushes it off, recalling how Yan Yongqing always helped his teammates. Now inside the dungeon, his friend finally asks about the rush, eager to know Yan Yongqing's plan. Yan Yongqing devises a plan to regain his strength. A warning appears, signaling imminent danger. The two men spot a shadowy figure emerging from the dungeon's depths. A giant scorpion, identified as a level 1 minion, makes its entrance. Yan Yongqing's friend confidently steps forward to engage the creature. The scorpion attacks, and the friend narrowly avoids a direct hit. The scorpion's stinger lashes out, aiming for a critical blow. The friend blocks the attack with his shield, bracing for impact. The scorpion's attack sends the friend tumbling backward. The friend recovers and prepares for a counterattack. Yan Yongqing observes his friend easily dispatching a low-level monster, earning a small amount of experience. A notification confirms that Yan Yongqing also gains a share of the experience from the kill. His friend signals for him to lure more monsters, preparing for a wide-area attack. Experience points and loot notifications flood the screen as their strategy pays off. The ground is now littered with the remains of the defeated scorpion creatures. Yan Yongqing proudly announces he's already leveled up, and his friend praises his impressive speed. A system window reveals he's unlocked a new fear-inducing skill called Soul Tremor. Cracking his knuckles, Yan Yongqing promises to demonstrate his newfound power. His friend watches with excitement, eager to witness the legendary demon conversion skill in action. Yan Yongqing slams his hand to the ground, unleashing a torrent of energy as he commands the dungeon's demons to join him. A surge of golden energy erupts from the dungeon floor. The energy intensifies, cracking the ground around it. A monstrous claw emerges from the fiery chasm. His friend looks on in awe at the unfolding spectacle. 3 humanoid scorpion figures materialize, radiating menacing energy. Yan Yongqing analyzes the scorpion's humanoid forms, noting their shape-shifting abilities. His friend marvels at the impressive display of power. Yan Yongqing issues a command, setting a clear objective. The scorpion warriors rush into the dungeon depths. His friend proposes a clever strategy for effortless leveling. His friend laments that with the current system of fees, every dungeon run is a financial loss. Suddenly, a dark projectile flies past them, but Yan Yongqing remains calm, ready to face the boss. The friend is stunned to see one of the powerful scorpion minions has been instantly taken down. The defeated minion's head apologizes, revealing they alerted the boss and were no match for its power. Yan Yongqing looks up, completely unfazed, admitting he never expected his weak minions to win. He now stands before the dungeon's final boss, a massive mole creature, with his fallen minions scattered around. A system window identifies the formidable enemy as the Mole King Rark, a Zerg-type boss. His friend draws his sword, preparing to lead the charge and protect Yan Yongqing. But Yan Yongqing insists on taking the lead, planning to act as bait while his friend strikes. With a defiant gesture, Yan Yongqing taunts the boss, ready to begin the real fight. The enraged Mole King lunges forward, its massive jaws snapping shut with incredible speed. His friend is stunned as Yan Yongqing explains he'll immobilize the beast, creating an opening. The two adventurers appear minuscule as they face the colossal boss head-on. Unafraid, Yan Yongqing sprints directly into the path of the descending monster. He expertly slides past the attack, dodging the creature's snapping jaws by a hair's breadth. His crimson eye flares with power as he unleashes his newly acquired Soul Tremor skill. The skill strikes true, causing the Mole King to recoil in a state of stunned confusion. Seizing the opportunity, he yells for his friend to launch the counterattack. His companion charges forward without hesitation, sword aimed at the vulnerable beast. He plunges his blade deep into the monster's hide, landing a decisive blow. A system notification reveals his Soul Tremor has failed, as the Mole King roars back to its senses. The enraged beast immediately burrows underground, shattering the dungeon floor in its wake. The two men are left staring into a massive dark pit created by the monster's escape. His friend remarks on the futility of their attack, questioning how they can possibly win. Yan Yongqing confidently explains he was just lucky to hit the boss's only vulnerable spots. He quickly formulates a new plan, knowing the boss will prioritize him as the primary threat. He instructs his friend to prepare for an ambush, trusting his own ability to dodge the monster's attack. His companion is impressed by his strategic mind, recognizing the wisdom of a seasoned pro. Yan Yongking humbly admits he learned these tactics by observing elite adventurers. His eyes narrow in anticipation, sensing the boss is about to make its move. Yan Yongking swiftly moves, dodging debris in the dungeon. His friend charges forward, weapon at the ready. The friend strikes the massive creature, leaving a mark. The Mole King bursts from the ground, surprising the two. The Mole King attacks with a powerful swipe. The friend blocks the attack, but the impact is strong. The friend barely avoids a devastating blow. Yan Yongking urges his friend to finish the stunned boss. The friend attacks with renewed determination. The Mole King disappears back into the earth. A system message confirms their victory, rewarding them with experience and valuable loot. The first drop is a powerful shield that can store and unleash block damage. The second item is a swift dagger with a chance to grant an extra slash. His friend is stunned by the high-quality drops, suspecting Yan Yongking chose this dungeon for a specific reason. Yan Yongking reveals his strategy, having predicted a weaker version of a high-level boss would be present. He offers his friend the choice of loot, who eagerly takes the shield, leaving the dagger for Yan Yongking. His friend questions the former priest's choice of weapon, but Yan Yongking reveals he always secretly wanted to be a melee fighter. Yan Yongking confidently states he can repay his friend by selling the materials, but his friend seems hesitant. The scene cuts to a fist slamming down in anger on a desk. He confronts a guild administrator, enraged to learn they've monopolized the market and are exploiting adventurers. The administrator condescendingly dismisses their complaint about unfair pricing. His friend tries to calm him down, warning against antagonizing the powerful guild. Yan Yongking's intense gaze fixates on the administrator, a plan forming. The administrator provokes him, seemingly unafraid of the consequences. Enforcers arrive, revealing the administrator's authority and influence. They decide to leave, avoiding a direct confrontation for now. Yan Yongking stops them, demanding compensation for the perceived slight. His friend is shocked by the demand, realizing the potential repercussions. Yan Yongking's determined expression hints at a hidden motive. Under the cover of night, a building stands, suggesting their next move. In a private apartment, several men in suits stand guard as their leader enjoys a grotesque meal. He watches a news report warning adventurers about a recent increase in disappearances within dungeons. A subordinate questions his boss about their leader's peculiar weekly visits to this secluded place. Unseen by the men inside, a dark, sinister energy envelops the entire building. The camera zooms in on the leader's plate, revealing the horrifying nature of his meal. The leader savors his meal, completely undisturbed by its horrific nature. A sudden loud noise from outside interrupts them, and the boss orders a subordinate to check it out. Grumbling to himself, the subordinate steps outside, expecting to find nothing more than stray animals. His complaints are cut short as he discovers a car violently smashed, its hood caved in. The terrified subordinate turns to find Yan Yongking standing there, his cold gaze confirming he's responsible. The subordinate is swiftly dragged back into the apartment, his feet scraping the floor. His colleagues watch in confusion as their friend is pulled into the darkness of the doorway. One of the men turns, his eyes widening in sudden, dawning terror. Yan Yongking's soul tremor debuff paralyzes the man with overwhelming fear. With his new dagger drawn, Yan Yongking leaps over the frozen guard to strike. He brings his weapon down with devastating force, neutralizing the threat instantly. The room erupts into chaos as Yan Yongking effortlessly dispatches the remaining guards. A body is sent flying through the window, shattering glass as it plummets to the ground below. The administrator cries out in a panic, desperately trying to summon his own power. Unimpressed, Yan Yongking closes the distance in a flash, ready to deliver the final blow. Yan Yongking deftly evades the administrator's attack, his dagger flashing in a blur of motion. The administrator frantically orders his men to attack, but the room is already a scene of disarray. Grabbing his opponent's arm, Yan Yongking unleashes his terrifying soul tremor skill. The administrator is instantly overwhelmed, his mind consumed by a paralyzing wave of pure terror. Frozen by the skill, the man's own hand turns against him in a moment of chilling helplessness. With the guards neutralized, Yan Yongking stands victorious amidst the aftermath of his swift assault. He then turns his attention to a closed door, sensing a deeply unsettling presence from the other side. The heavy door creaks open, revealing the source of the sinister energy. Yan Yongking's expression hardens as he finally understands the true horror of the situation. Inside, he discovers the grim fate of the missing adventurers, confirming his darkest suspicions. A horrifying pile of skulls serves as a grim centerpiece, revealing the leader's monstrous appetite. Yan Yongqing confronts the leader, accusing him of feasting on the lives of others like a parasite. The leader scoffs at the low-level adventurer, confidently threatening to make him his next meal. A cold smile plays on Yan Yongqing's lips as he reminds the man of a promise he made. With a predatory grin, he vows to reclaim everything that was taken from him. Enraged, the administrator summons twin vortexes of fire, promising a painful end. He unleashes his fiery power, launching a blistering assault toward his target. Yan Yongqing leaps through the window, effortlessly dodging the volley of fireballs. He descends from above, dagger poised to strike, his eyes burning with demonic power. The administrator's arrogance evaporates, replaced by the cold sweat of pure terror. He moves with blinding speed, his dagger a whirlwind of crimson slashes. The administrator is baffled, recalling that Yan Yongqing registered as a mere level 1 healer. His eyes widen in disbelief as the blade closes in with impossible speed. The dagger's special ability triggers, granting him an instantaneous second strike. The administrator looks down in shock, realizing the fight is already over. He stumbles back, his face marked by the swift and precise attack. Yan Yongqing mockingly praises the man's power, deeming him worthy of becoming his subordinate. The administrator roars in fury, utterly humiliated by the condescending offer. He desperately tries to muster his remaining strength, his hand crackling with unstable energy. Unimpressed, Yan Yongqing watches coldly, his crimson eye showing no hint of concern. An impact explodes, sending debris flying. A shadowy figure looms large against the backdrop of a crescent moon. A golden spiked orb glows ominously. A large pink demon descends, observed by 2 figures. The demon expresses surprise, having expected a stronger opponent. The demon laments an unfortunate accident involving its previous host. Yan Yongqing prepares to use a demonic skill. The demon's eye focuses intently. Yan Yongqing unleashes a burst of red energy. The demon remains confident, believing itself immune to the attack. The demon taunts him, mocking his inability to keep up with the flurry of attacks. Yan Yongqing calmly watches as a blast of pink energy hurtles towards him. He leaps high into the air, narrowly avoiding a massive explosion that tears through the floor. His crimson eye glints with focus as he prepares his next move. Below, a gaping maw of demonic fire consumes the room he just escaped. The demon's hellfire spreads, callously engulfing anyone caught in its path. Realizing the enclosed space is a death trap, Yan Yongqing decides to change the battlefield. He makes a break for the rooftop, but the demon launches its weapon in pursuit. The demon gives chase, confident that its special flames will find their mark no matter where he runs. It unleashes a bolt of hellfire, boasting that its lingering burn will incinerate anything in its path. The demon soars through the air, leaving a trail of unsettling energy. The demon lands, questioning Yan Yongqing's whereabouts and cunning. A golden spiked projectile hurtles through the air with intense speed. Yan Yongqing narrowly avoids the projectile, a sharp, glowing weapon. The demon's attack grazes Yan Yongqing, leaving a mark. The demon unleashes a concentrated blast of energy. Yan Yongqing is struck by the demon's attack, sent reeling back. Yan Yongqing leaps through the air, evading another attack. The demon threatens retribution for the injury. The demon lunges, claiming Yan Yongqing as its own. A torrent of pink hellfire surges forward, obliterating everything in its path. Yan Yongqing desperately weaves through a forest as the demonic energy tears the landscape apart. The devastating blast carves a fiery scar through the woods, leaving only destruction in its wake. He makes a daring leap down a steep cliff, seeking refuge from the relentless pursuit. Landing at the bottom, he turns to face his pursuer, his resolve unshaken. The demon lands behind him, amused to see its prey seemingly trapped in a dead end. With nowhere left to run, the demon prepares to unleash its full power, confident in its victory. From above, the creature unleashes its ultimate attack, a devastating inferno cannon. The ravine erupts in a cataclysmic explosion of pink energy, shattering the very earth. The demon observes the aftermath, certain that its opponent has been utterly annihilated. The demon reflects on its previous host's unfortunate health condition. The demon is startled by something unexpected. The demon is suddenly pulled downwards with great force. A golden-bladed weapon spins rapidly through the air. The weapon strikes, impacting something with significant force. The demon finds itself in an uncomfortable predicament. The demon wonders if there's more to this situation. The demon is puzzled by Yan Yongqing's survival. The demon suspects Yan Yongqing anticipated the attack. The demon realizes it's been trapped. The demon is shocked, finding itself bound by dark chains. Yan Yongqing commands the demon, asserting his dominance. The demon's face shows a mixture of confusion and fear. Yan Yongking orders the Mole King to release the demon. Yan Yongking demands the demon surrender its valuables. The demon complies, offering up a shield and weapons. A hoard of gold bars glitters enticingly. Yan Yongking assesses the recovered loot and its origins. He calculates the immense value of the gold bars. Yan Yongking secures the demon's binding chain. A system warning flashes, alerting him that his new captive is about to break its bonds. The demon smirks, channeling its power as it prepares to defy its new master. It unleashes a final desperate blast of energy, roaring with rebellious fury. But its attack is suddenly neutralized, its face contorting in shock and disbelief. A beam of crimson light erupts from below, swiftly dispatching the defiant demon. He levels up to 3 and unlocks Lord Privilege, a skill that lets him share his servant's experience gains. Yan Yongking looks down at the defeated demon, his plan far from over. He channels dark energy, preparing to resurrect the creature under his complete control. Crackling with power, he successfully binds the demon's soul, filling another slot in his demon space. The resurrected demon bows obediently, now a level 3 servant ready to follow his every command. Yan Yongking clenches his fist, realizing he must find unregulated dungeons to bypass the corrupt guilds. He turns to his new demon servant, ordering it to lead him to other monster lairs. The scene shifts to an apartment building, where his friend is about to receive a visitor. His friend answers the door to a delivery man with a large, unexpected package. He struggles with the surprisingly heavy box, wondering if he's the victim of a prank. Opening it, he discovers the powerful shield, stacks of gold bars, and a note. The note from Yan Yongking explains the gifts and offers his help for any future dungeon runs. His friend is overjoyed, stunned that Yan Yongking managed to retrieve the shield from the rogue guild. He marvels at a solid gold bar, astonished by the incredible wealth now in his hands. The delivery man, having been paid generously for his service, celebrates his own newfound riches as he departs. The delivery man, revealed to be a level 3 demon minion, reports his successful delivery to his master. Yan Yongking acknowledges the report, but his expression turns serious as he voices a new concern. Riding his massive Mole King, he questions his demon servant about their chosen destination. His servant has led him to a grand temple of the light god, prompting him to question the reason for this choice. The demon explains that the treacherous angel's power is drawn from these temples, and destroying one will diminish her strength. Seeing the strategic value, Yan Yongking agrees to the plan and prepares to infiltrate the holy site. He commands his Mole King to enter stealth mode, keeping it as a hidden trump card for when it's needed. Meanwhile, the aftermath of Yan Yongking's previous raid is discovered, with the building reduced to smoking ruins. The guild's treasury head arrives, furiously demanding to know his brother's fate, only to learn he was completely obliterated. Baffled by the unfamiliar and powerful magic used, the enraged guild official orders a full-scale investigation into every registered adventurer. The guild official prioritizes the lost fortune over his brother's death, fearing the angel's wrath. Inside the temple, Yan Yongking is immediately confronted by a level 3 corrupted light knight. He effortlessly dispatches several corrupted guards, gaining a small amount of experience. The last knight standing offers him a chance to surrender, citing his former allegiance to the light. Yan Yongking scoffs at the offer, launching a swift attack against the stubborn guard. His blade moves in a blur, cleanly removing the knight's head in a single decisive strike. He pivots instantly, his dagger already aimed at the next unsuspecting guard. His crimson eye flares as he unleashes his soul tremor skill, paralyzing his foe with fear. The terrified knight is thrown back, its armor glowing with the skill's debilitating energy. Seeing their comrades fall, a commander orders the remaining knights to charge and overwhelm him. He unleashes his soul tremor, his crimson eye glowing with malevolent power. But the knight's shields flare, interrupting his spell and negating its fear effect. Undeterred, he leaps into the air, descending upon the clustered guards. His dagger finds its mark, smashing through a knight's defenses with brutal efficiency. He follows up with a sweeping arc, his blade a blur of motion against the armored soldiers. Yan Yongking carves a path through the guards, a whirlwind of precise and deadly strikes. The commander roars in frustration, ordering his men forward, fearing their own leader more than the intruder. A new challenger appears, a level 3 elite corrupted light knight overseer, ready to join the fray. The overseer locks onto his target, preparing to demonstrate his superior strength. He swings his massive axe down, aiming to crush Yan Yongking with a single overwhelming blow. The overseer's armor glows with holy light as he prepares to unleash his full power. He swings his axe with devastating force, creating a shockwave that tears through the battlefield. The knight stands alone, having callously sacrificed his own men to clear a path to his target. Yan Yongqing observes this ruthless act, noting that the knight is more monstrous than any demon. The scene briefly flashes to his demon servant, Pondi, who seems far less intimidating by comparison. The attack proves useless, as Yan Yongqing emerges unscathed, shielded by his massive Mole King. He smirks, making a dismissive gesture that mocks the Overseer's failed attempt. Enraged by the taunt, the Overseer vows to make the intruder regret ever setting foot in the temple. He raises his weapon high, channeling all his might into one final, overwhelming strike. The massive axe descends in a blur, aimed to completely obliterate its target. The Overseer is swiftly neutralized, his world turned upside down in defeat. The scene shifts to an alleyway where a man recoils in terror from the grim results of a confrontation. He pleads for his life, completely overwhelmed by the ruthless display of power. The guild official, Netahu, interrogates the survivor, demanding information about a former guild member. He shows a picture of his target, Yan Yongqing's friend, Su Dingfeng. The terrified man instantly recognizes the face in the photo. With a menacing glare, the level 4 assassin demands to know his friend's location. The man recalls the swift and brutal defeat of his guild's tank, fueling his terror. He quickly spills the address, hoping to spare his own life. The official feigns innocence before coldly dismissing the informant, his objective achieved. The official's friendly demeanor vanishes, replaced by a cruel grin as he reveals his deception. He unveils his signature skill, Magic Blade Hidden Heart, his hand crackling with menacing energy. With a single decisive step, he closes the distance to his terrified informant. The informant is thrown against the wall, the force of the blow leaving him incapacitated. A swift and final strike leaves the man's face a mask of shock and defeat. Leaving the informant behind, the assassin coolly checks his phone, already focused on his primary target. The scene cuts to the exterior of Su Dingfeng's apartment, where danger is about to arrive. Inside, Su Dingfeng is alerted by a sound at his door, turning with a questioning look. He opens the door with a smile, mistakenly assuming it's another delivery. The guild assassin greets him with a predatory smile, confirming he's found his target. Deep within the temple, a heavily armored leader sits upon a grand golden throne. He notices a lone figure approaching from the far end of the chamber. Now at level 4, Yan Yongqing strides forward, his gaze fixed on the temple's final boss. The leader scoffs from his throne, wondering how an intruder managed to get past his elite overseer. Yan Yongqing smirks, making a catching motion as if to answer the condescending question. He mimes crushing a bug, a direct and insulting response to the leader's taunt. He then casually asks if the leader was referring to the now defeated knight. With a flick of his wrist, he sends an object flying, confirming the overseer is permanently out of commission. The overseer's helmet clatters across the floor, coming to a stop at the foot of the throne. The leader is stunned, realizing this intruder is far more dangerous than he first appeared. The enraged leader grips his sword, his hand crackling with dark energy as he vows to show Yan Yongqing true power. A system window identifies the level 22 boss, Arbiter Argus, who rises from his throne radiating divine, corrupted light. Yan Yongqing immediately unleashes his soul tremor skill, his crimson eye flaring as he targets the commander's mind. But the commander's immense power allows him to completely resist the fear-inducing effect. The knight leaps high into the air, preparing to bring his massive blade down upon his opponent. Yan Yongqing narrowly evades the devastating strike, which shatters the temple floor with a burst of holy lightning. Unrelenting, the commander follows up with a lightning-fast horizontal slash. Yan Yongqing expertly parries the blow with his dagger, the clash of steel sending sparks flying. The sheer force of the commander's next swing sends Yan Yongqing hurtling through the air. Landing on his feet, Yan Yongqing realizes this boss is on an entirely different level from anyone he's fought before. He's sent flying across the vast temple floor, the commander's power undeniable, but midair, Yan Yongqing gathers a swirling vortex of demonic energy in his hand. He channels the power into a fiery kick, launching a concentrated blast at his opponent. The commander confidently raises his sword, summoning a powerful light shield to deflect the attack. The demonic fire collides with the holy barrier, erupting in a blinding explosion. The impact sends a shockwave of raw power tearing through the chamber. When the smoke clears, the commander stands firm, but his once perfect shield is shattered. The knight is stunned, unable to comprehend how his ultimate defense was broken by a low-level skill. His moment of disbelief is cut short as a shadow looms over him. Yan Yongking appears behind him in a flash, his dagger already at the commander's throat. The commander questions Yan Yongking's tactics, deeming them unfair. Yan Yongking retorts with a chilling reminder of the goddess's betrayal. The commander falls, defeated by Yan Yongking's swift attack. The fallen commander's grip loosens on his weapon. The commander launches a desperate attack fueled by rage. Yan Yongking is surprised by the commander's unexpected resilience. The commander channels a surge of energy, preparing a powerful attack. The commander marvels at Yan Yongking's unexpected healing abilities. The commander launches a fierce attack, determined to end the fight. Yan Yongking counters with a powerful upward strike. The commander channels immense holy power, vowing to incinerate his opponent. He unleashes his ultimate skill, a blinding, radiant flash of pure energy. Unflinching, Yan Yongking braces himself, absorbing the full force of the devastating attack. The beam of light harmlessly pierces the temple ceiling, shooting into the heavens. The commander stares in utter disbelief as his most powerful attack dissipates without a trace. He turns away in frustration, blaming his own incompetent guards for this humiliating failure. Suddenly, a flash of recognition crosses the commander's mind as he finally identifies his foe. He recalls a past incident, stunned that the man he once knew could still be alive. A memory surfaces of a former teammate being brutally assaulted by the corrupt Jew Scorpion Guild. The commander remembers the wronged adventurer seeking justice, only to be met by him at the tribunal. He remembers how the victim was falsely accused and stripped of his adventurer status. Meanwhile, the true culprit, an elite guild member, faced no consequences for his actions. The memory reveals the commander himself was the one who delivered that corrupt ruling. The knight is stunned that Yan Yongking knows about his past and his role in the tribunal. He scoffs, boasting that with the goddess's favor, mere adventurers are powerless against them. The commander channels immense holy power, preparing a locked-on strike that cannot be dodged. His attack builds, unleashing a destructive shockwave of raw, golden energy. He summons a colossal sword of light, his ultimate light judgment skill. But Yan Yongking deftly pivots, refusing to be an easy target for the massive attack. The holy sword descends from the heavens, aimed at the spot where he just stood. Yan Yongking senses the immense power and unavoidable nature of the incoming attack. He prepares to counter the unavoidable attack with a skill of his own. He activates Burning Time Shield, a mana-consuming defensive skill. The commander realizes how Yan Yongking survived his previous attack. A powerful beam of golden energy descends from above. Yan Yongking stands defiant as the colossal sword of light strikes. He raises his hand, activating his Burning Time Shield against the attack. The commander acknowledges Yan Yongking's strength but remains confident. Yan Yongking channels energy, preparing a counter-offensive. The holy sword cracks under the pressure of his Burning Time Shield. The holy sword cracks and shatters under the force of Yan Yongking's shield. The commander is shocked by the unexpected power of the shield. The commander braces for impact as the shield continues to hold. Yan Yongking takes advantage of the opening created by his shield. The commander is surprised that Yan Yongking survived the attack. Yan Yongking explains his strategy and the unique properties of his shield. Yan Yongking prepares to launch his counterattack. Yan Yongking unleashes a powerful new skill. Yan Yongking pours his remaining mana into the attack. The commander prepares to defend against the incoming attack. He unleashes a cataclysmic torrent of dark crimson energy, engulfing the commander. The commander struggles to withstand the terrifying impact. His defenses push to their absolute limit. The demonic power surges across the battlefield, overwhelming the Holy Knight's position. His shield cracks and shatters, unable to contain the sheer force of the counterattack. The explosion blows the entire roof off the temple, leaving a gaping hole to the sky. Standing amidst the smoldering ruins, the commander looks up, having barely survived the blast. He grudgingly admits Yan Yongking is far more powerful than any adventurer he's ever crushed before. But he scoffs, dismissing his injuries as minor scratches he can easily handle. Golden light envelops the commander as he begins to channel his healing magic, confident in his recovery. His confidence vanishes as he realizes with dawning horror that his healing powers are failing him. Yan Yongking's dark energy clings to the commander's armor, corrupting his holy power. The commander panics, realizing his divine healing abilities have been completely nullified. He cries out as the corrosive demonic energy continues to ravage his body from within. The knight stares at his hand, wondering if the attack carried a special, debilitating curse. Overwhelmed by the pain, the once mighty commander collapses to his knees in defeat. Yan Yongqing coldly points out this is the second time the knight has been forced to kneel before him. He mocks the commander's weakness, grabbing his helmet and questioning his worth as a light knight. All pride forgotten, the terrified commander begs for his life, willing to do anything to survive. Yan Yongqing calmly mentions that he hasn't quite finished telling his story of revenge. The commander looks up, a new wave of fear washing over him at the ominous statement. He continues, recalling how his wronged teammate was blacklisted, unable to find work due to the Zhu family's influence. The memory shows his friend being shunned, with onlookers blaming him for provoking the powerful guild. Overwhelmed by despair, the man's frustration grew, trapped by the systemic corruption. Yan Yongqing remembers pooling money with friends to help, only to find an unanswered door at his apartment. The flashback concludes with the grim discovery that they had arrived too late to prevent a tragedy. Back in the present, Yan Yongqing pins the commander's sword with his foot, his question about mercy now a chilling threat. The defeated knight desperately offers his allegiance, promising to reveal all of the guild's secrets. As Yan Yongqing appears to consider the offer, the commander secretly plans a last-ditch attack, sensing an opening. But Yan Yongqing shows no mercy, ending the commander's desperate ploy with a single fluid strike. He coldly informs the defeated knight that the only way to serve him is in the afterlife. Yan Yongqing levels up, gaining new skills, twin summons and demon form. He realizes he missed out on experience from his servant's activities. He questions his demon servant Pondi about the missing experience points. Pondi nervously admits to a sticky situation. Pondi confronts two individuals using some sort of power. One of the individuals suffers an unfortunate consequence. A new character, Netahu, a level 4 assassin, intervenes. Netahu expresses indifference to widespread consequences. Pondi warns Netahu against interfering with his liege. Netahu questions if Yongqing is involved, suspecting a new recruit. The story flashes back an hour, revealing the moment the assassin Netahu ambushed Su Dingfeng. With a single brutal shove, the assassin sends Su Dingfeng flying out of his own apartment window. Glass shatters as Su Dingfeng plummets from the high-rise building after the sudden assault. He recalls being instantly knocked unconscious, despite his status as a durable tank-class adventurer. Su Dingfeng awakens in a desolate parking lot, finding himself at the mercy of his captor. Pondi, Yan Yongqing's demon servant, arrives on the scene, drawn by the disturbance. The demon servant lunges forward, attempting to land a decisive blow on the purple-haired assassin. Pondi is shocked by his opponent's incredible speed, realizing he's even faster than his master. Netahu effortlessly dodges the attack, leaving the demon to crash into the concrete floor. The assassin reappears behind Pondi, his hand glowing with energy as he prepares a swift counter. The assassin unleashes a swift blast of wind magic across the parking lot. He reveals his skill, wind magic, tower gale, a powerful and precise attack. Pondi nimbly dodges the series of invisible wind rings sent his way. The demon servant narrowly sidesteps the unseen blades, sensing the danger just in time. He lands firmly on his feet, having completely evaded the assassin's opening move. Netahu is stunned, questioning how his opponent could possibly have seen his invisible attack. Pondi reveals he couldn't see the attack, but sensed the faint magical energy, staying cautious. He recalls a past lesson, having been tricked by his master's cunning tactics in a similar situation. The assassin dismisses Pondi's foresight as mere luck and closes in for a direct strike. Pondi meets the charge with a powerful kick, the impact shattering the concrete between them. The assassin retaliates with a swift and powerful kick of his own. The force of the blow sends the demon servant reeling backward. Pondi is launched through the air, crashing hard against a concrete pillar. He tumbles to the ground, momentarily stunned by the assassin's speed. Before he can recover, the assassin closes in with a glowing, energized strike. Pondi realizes he's too slow to counter and is forbidden from using his true demon form. Unrelenting, the assassin gathers wind magic for another devastating attack. He unleashes a massive blade of compressed air, tearing across the battlefield. The demon's eyes widen in shock, realizing he has no way to dodge this time. The attack lands with devastating force, shattering the nearby glass and leaving a grim scene. The demon servant lies defeated on the concrete floor, the assassin's attack having found its mark. He seethes with frustration, believing he has failed to protect his master's friend. The assassin looms over him, revealing his invisible blade has more tricks up its sleeve. Suddenly, a system notification grants him a new skill, a reverse summon to bring his master to the fight. The assassin's eyes glow with malice as he moves in to finish the job. With his last ounce of strength, the demon servant activates the skill, calling for his liege. Crimson energy engulfs him as he apologizes for his perceived failure. The assassin stares in confusion at the empty spot where his target just vanished. He turns to find Yan King has instantly appeared across the lot, standing over his friend. The assassin is stunned, unable to process how they moved so fast that his own eyes couldn't track them. Yan King coldly assesses his friend's condition, questioning how a durable tank could be so easily defeated. His friend retorts that he only survived the ambush thanks to the timely arrival of Yan King's servant. The assassin recognizes his new opponent, smugly noting that his second target has delivered himself. With a single, dismissive gesture, Yan King silences the assassin, making it clear who is in charge. The assassin's confidence shatters, replaced by pure rage at the blatant disrespect. He orders his demon servant to escort his friend to safety, promising to deal with their injuries later. Yan King stomps the ground, his power radiating as he prepares to face the assassin alone. The assassin lunges forward, unleashing a lightning-fast kick aimed at his target. Enraged by his opponent's calm demeanor, the assassin throws a powerful, energized punch. Their powers collide in a brilliant flash as Yan King's warning is met with brute force. The assassin's face contorts as Yan King's fist connects with brutal force. He's sent spiraling through the air, completely overpowered by the unexpected strength of the blow. His body slams into the concrete floor, the impact shattering the ground beneath him. Staggering to one knee, the assassin looks up from the crater, his confidence shaken. Bloodied and bruised, he stares in disbelief, his arrogance completely wiped away. He frantically tries to place his opponent, realizing this unknown fighter is no ordinary adventurer. Seeing no other choice, the assassin decides it's time to stop holding back and fight seriously. Before he can act, Yan King closes the distance in an instant, delivering a powerful kick. The assassin is stunned, unable to comprehend his opponent's blinding speed. A sinister grin spreads across his face as he reveals this was all part of his plan. The assassin springs his trap, with spikes of energy erupting from the ground to immobilize his target. The binding spell activates in a flash, designed to completely restrain Yan King. The assassin gloats, confident that he has successfully pinned his opponent with his energy restraints. He smugly lectures his captured foe, explaining that true battles are won with strategy, not just brute force. But his condescending smirk quickly fades into a cold sweat as his plan begins to unravel. A brilliant flash of golden light erupts from Yan King, shattering the assassin's confidence. Yan King effortlessly breaks free, his body now protected by an impenetrable golden aura. The assassin stares in disbelief, shocked that his ultimate trap was nullified and wondering if he's facing a holy knight. With his crimson eyes glowing, Yan King expresses his disappointment, mocking the assassin's feeble power. The assassin's face contorts with fury, utterly humiliated by the condescending taunt. He turns his back, deeming the assassin too weak to kill and leaving a chilling warning for his guild. The assassin seethes, his face contorted with pure, unadulterated rage at the humiliation. His hand trembles with fury as he watches his opponent's casual dismissal, his pride shattered. Refusing to accept defeat, the assassin channels his remaining power for one final desperate assault. He unleashes his ultimate technique, a full-powered slash meant to obliterate his target. A web of destructive energy tears through the air, hurtling towards Yan King's back. Sensing the attack, Yan King's expression hardens, recognizing the assassin's foolish last stand. Without even turning, his golden aura effortlessly deflects the attack, shattering the ground around him. The assassin's most powerful move erupts in a useless, chaotic explosion of energy. When the smoke finally clears, the battlefield is a cratered mess, but his target has vanished. Yan King remains unfazed, his defenses holding strong. The assassin is frustrated, his attack proving ineffective. Yan King's intense gaze hints at a counter-strategy. The assassin prepares a new, supposedly unstoppable move. Yan King remains calm, seemingly unimpressed. A swift and powerful counterattack is launched. The assassin explains the power of his demon-slaying sword. Yan King questions the assassin's claim with a chilling look. The assassin's weapon meets an unexpected fate. The assassin is shocked and disbelieving. Yan King delivers a swift and decisive kick to the assassin. The impact sends the assassin crashing into a nearby structure. The assassin is shocked to discover Yan King has another layer of defense. Yan King sends the assassin flying with a powerful blow. The assassin pleads for his life, invoking the name of his guild. Yan Yongqing remains unmoved by the assassin's threats. The assassin's expression shifts to fear as Yan Yongqing's response is revealed. Yan Yongqing unleashes a torrent of crimson energy. The energy explodes outward, engulfing the area in a fiery display. The assassin is sent hurtling through the air by the force of the blast. The assassin's body smashes into a distant mountain, shattering the peak with the force of the impact. Caught in the epicenter of the blast, the assassin is completely overwhelmed by the destructive energy. From afar, his friend and servant can only watch the plume of smoke rising from the distant peak. The demon servant is stunned, realizing his master not only copied his skills but elevated them to a new level. His friend mistakenly attributes the victory to a simple level difference, explaining the game's mechanics. With a sinister grin, the demon servant expresses his excitement, seeing his master as the key to the demon's revival. Yan Yongqing stands victorious as a system window confirms he's defeated the assassin and gained experience. He receives the assassin's ashes, learning that fallen adventurers can be converted into powerful demonic servants. This revelation dawns on him. Hunting corrupt adventurers is a far more efficient path to power than grinding in dungeons. With a new strategy in mind, the scene shifts to the ominous entrance of a level 3 dungeon. A blade flashes, descending upon an unfortunate victim. His target's eyes widen in sheer terror, realizing his fate is sealed. A single clean strike leaves a grim result, ending the confrontation instantly. Standing over the aftermath, the attacker gains a meager 50 experience points for his efforts. The level 6. Hunter Zhu Yin laments that the fight ended too quickly, finding the swift victory unsatisfying. A new figure arrives, mockingly praising his second brother for working so hard to level up. The newcomer questions Zhu Yin's presence in the dungeon, believing he wasn't interested in leveling. The level 3 adventurer Zhu Tong asks his brother why he always covers his victims' faces, wondering if he fears nightmares. Zhu Yin scoffs at the idea of nightmares, revealing a much more chilling reason for his methods. With a sadistic grin, he confesses that he covers their faces to better savor the thrill of watching the life fade from their eyes. Zhu Yin cuts to the chase, demanding to know his brother's true intentions. The younger brother offers a tempting prize, a level 5 adventurer for him to hunt. He shows his brother a photo of his next target, asking if he's interested in the hunt. The scene cuts to the exterior of Su Dingfeng's apartment building, where he is now a marked man. Inside, Yan Yongqing rests while his friend Su Dingfeng intensely trains, recovering from his injuries. Yan Yongqing questions his friend's immediate return to strenuous exercise after just being healed. Su Dingfeng explains it's his way of recovering, then asks why Yan Yongqing isn't in a dungeon. Yan Yongqing reveals his new strategy. His minions are farming experience for him while he rests. The scene shifts to a level 6 devil's lair, where his demonic servants are hard at work. Pondi enthusiastically oversees the operation, urging his underlings to continue the grind. Pondi sits on a makeshift throne, confidently ordering his fellow minions to work harder. His resurrected army, including the formidable Mole King, Arbiter Argus, and Netahu, efficiently clears the dungeon floor. The assassin minion, Netahu, questions Pondi's authority, pointing out they all serve the same master. The knight minion, Arbiter Argus, joins the protest, threatening Pondi for lounging while they fight. Pondi asserts his seniority, claiming he's been with their master the longest and is the most qualified to lead. The massive Mole King, oblivious to the argument, is seen chasing a tiny insect, proving Pondi's point about its intelligence. To settle the dispute, the assassin proposes a competition instead of arguing. The challenge is set, a contest to see which of them can farm the most experience for their master. A horde of level 5 imps swarms towards them, providing the perfect test for their contest. Eager to prove his superiority, Pondi leaps into the fray, unleashing a torrent of fire upon the charging imps. His fiery attack rips through the horde, racking up a stream of experience points for their master. The vortex of demonic energy obliterates the entire swarm of imps in a single devastating move. Not to be outdone, the assassin summons his own skeletal army to join the farming frenzy. He marvels at the power of his new demonic form, noting the significant boost to his abilities. The knight minion, Argus, enters the competition with a smug grin, ready to prove his own worth. He wades into the fray, his club smashing through imps with brutal efficiency. The assassin appears behind him, taunting the knight for being too focused on kill-stealing. The knight accuses the assassin of using mana-draining attacks to hog all the glory. With a confident smirk, the assassin reveals he's not the only one with wide-ranging skills. A precise beam of energy slices through an imp, demonstrating the assassin's own deadly efficiency. The assassin unleashes a flurry of invisible slashes, cutting down imps across the battlefield. He reveals his skill: invisible blade, grounded slash, a wide-ranging, devastating technique. The attack rips through the horde, decimating dozens of imps in a single sweeping motion. The assassin smugly boasts to Pondi, proving his own area of effect skills are just as formidable. But the Knight Minion takes advantage of the chaos, stomping the ground to draw the remaining enemies to him. With a sly look, he thanks the assassin for conveniently gathering all the targets in one place. The assassin furiously accuses the knight of shamelessly stealing his kills. Ignoring the protest, the knight summons a colossal pillar of golden light from the heavens. His holy flash obliterates the remaining imps, flooding the screen with experience points. Back in the real world, Yan Yongqing calmly walks as the steady stream of experience from his servants flows directly to him. He smirks, noticing the sudden surge of experience points as his minions compete for his favor. His friend calls him over from the entrance of a swirling dungeon portal, ready for a new challenge. Yan Yongqing approaches, curious about the party his friend has assembled for their run. He's surprised to see their third member is a heavily armored level 5 dwarven warrior. He quietly questions his friend's choice, whispering about the notorious greed of dwarves. The dwarf overhears the comment and slams his hammer down, angrily refuting the accusation. He proudly declares that a dwarf's loyalty to his comrades is even stronger than his greed. His friend reassures him that the dwarf is a trustworthy acquaintance, and Yan Yongqing reluctantly agrees. He points out they are still 2 members short for the 5-person dungeon, but his friend just grins. His friend simply tells him to look up, hinting that their final party members are about to make an entrance. A startled pink-haired woman peeks over a massive boulder, her expression flustered. Their 4th member is revealed to be a level 5 giant archer named Eileen, who towers over them all. Overwhelmed by the attention, the shy giantess quickly ducks back behind the rock to hide. His friend laughs, explaining that despite her intimidating size, Eileen is surprisingly timid. Yan Yongqing remains unfazed, turning to ask about their final 5th party member. A new voice apologizes for being late, blaming the delay on an unforeseen holdup. The group turns to see their last member finally making his way towards them. The newcomer is revealed to be Zhu Yin, the level 4 hunter from the dungeon, feigning a polite apology. He internally scoffs, confident that his disguised level has fooled these newbies into thinking he's weak. The friend introduces Zhu Yin, vouching for him as a strong support character with a difficult past. Yan Yongqing studies the newcomer, sensing a dangerous aura that doesn't match his supposed level. The hunter smirks subtly as his friend welcomes him, his true sinister nature hidden from the group. The swirling vortex of the dungeon portal is revealed to be a treacherous level 6 enchanted forest. With their party now complete, the 5 adventurers confidently march towards the dungeon's entrance. The story flashes back 2 hours, revealing the events that led to this unlikely team-up. Yan Yongqing had warned his friend about the dungeon's specific dangers and the need for a balanced party. His friend immediately agreed to assemble a team, asking for the dungeon's location to begin recruiting. The scene implies his friend's departure, setting out to gather the adventurers they've just met. Back in the present, the team steps into the dungeon, finding themselves in a dark, foreboding forest. The party pauses, taking in the eerie landscape as their giant archer hesitates at the unsettling sight. The hunter voices his unease about the dungeon's creepy atmosphere, but his friend dismisses his concerns. To ease the tension, the giant archer offers the nervous hunter a comically oversized lollipop. Blushing, she explains that the magical candy is her personal remedy for anxiety. The friend jokes that her lollipop is so massive it could double as a weapon. Suddenly, Yan Yongqing's expression sharpens as his senses alert him to a change in their surroundings. The party looks around in confusion, realizing their dwarven companion has suddenly disappeared. Elsewhere, the dwarf's eyes gleam with excitement, having stumbled upon a hidden treasure trove. He stands in awe before a cavern filled with priceless blue crystal ore, his greed completely taking over. Forgetting the mission entirely, he immediately starts mining the valuable crystals with his pickaxe. Deeper in the cave, he discovers an even richer vein of ore, completely mesmerized by the potential fortune. He ventures deeper, drawn by the promise of even greater riches hidden within the cave. Perched on a ledge, he suddenly spots something that makes him freeze in his tracks. His eyes fall upon a massive cluster of rare golden crystals, a treasure beyond his wildest dreams. His face lights up with pure, unadulterated greed at the sight of the priceless minerals. Overcome with excitement, he leaps towards the treasure, determined to claim it all for himself. He brings his pickaxe down in a powerful swing, ready to shatter the valuable crystals. But his tool strikes the ground with a loud clang, failing to even scratch the surface. He looks down in confusion as strange glowing patterns begin to spread across the cavern floor. The dwarf stares in shock, realizing he has triggered something completely unexpected. Meanwhile, the rest of the party follows his trail, with Yan Yong King noting that a dwarf can never resist a mine. A sudden noise startles the friend, but Yan Yong King remains unfazed, turning towards the sound. The friend spots their missing companion in the distance, frantically running over a ridge. The dwarf flees in sheer terror, screaming as he scrambles away from an unseen threat. He's pursued by a swarm of small glowing stone golems, forcing him to leap for his life. The friend scoffs at the dwarf's cowardice, drawing his own sword to deal with the minor mobs. But the dwarf freezes, his escape cut short by a massive horned silhouette looming over the ridge. A colossal stone boss, the living wraith, rises from the ground, its sheer size dwarfing the adventurer. The friend's confidence shatters into disbelief, while the hunter watches the scene unfold with cold indifference. The hunter internally curses the dwarf for summoning a bigger threat, ruining his own sinister plans. Deciding his own life is more valuable than the kill, the hunter begins to sneak away from the impending battle. The mine entrance pulses with a sinister green light, signaling the awakening of a powerful entity. With a deafening roar, the cave erupts in a massive explosion of destructive energy. The blast carves a huge crater into the landscape, forcing the adventurers to flee for their lives. The friend is sent flying by the sheer force of the boss's emergence, completely caught off guard. The living wraith lets out a furious roar, its eyes glowing with malevolent power. It unleashes a devastating beam of concentrated energy, aiming to annihilate the entire party. The friend and the dwarf are frozen in terror, caught directly in the path of the overwhelming attack. The hunter abruptly halts his escape, realizing he's also trapped by the massive area of effect blast. While his friend panics about the undodgeable attack, Yan Yong King assesses the situation with cold calm. Yan Yong King steps forward, activating a golden light shield and calling for his teammates to rally behind him. The team takes refuge on his golden shield as the boss's corrosive energy beam surges towards them. A torrent of green power slams into their defense with unrelenting force. Yan Yong King feels his shield begin to dissolve, the corrosive magic eating through its holy light. The boss's attack proves too powerful, melting away the golden barrier piece by piece. With a final crackle, the shield shatters, sending his friend reeling from the impact. The friend is thrown backward, helpless as their only defense crumbles before the overwhelming assault. Yan Yong King realizes his current skills are insufficient to protect the entire party from the boss's power. Thinking fast, he activates a new skill, Switch Summon, his hand crackling with crimson energy. Dark tendrils of power erupt from the ground, swirling around him as he prepares to change the battlefield. His friend and the dwarf look on in shock, caught in the unexpected vortex of demonic magic. In a flash of crimson light, he summons his powerful level 5 demon minion, Rark. The dwarf stares in disbelief, unable to comprehend how an adventurer could possess such a godlike skill. Yan Yong King calmly commands his new servant to dig an escape tunnel for the party. The demon minion immediately obeys, burrowing into the ground with explosive force. An escape route appears, and his friend urges the others to jump in, questioning what will become of their leader. Yan Yong King gives a confident gesture, assuring his friend that he can handle the situation alone. The party reluctantly escapes through the dark tunnel, worriedly looking back for their leader. The hunter coldly explains their leader is sacrificing himself, as the corrosive attack will flood the tunnel. His friend refutes the claim, revealing Yan Yong King's cryptic message about leveling up, shocking the dwarf. On the surface, a mysterious horned woman walks away, leaving only a puddle of green energy where the boss once stood. The hunter stands alone on a cliff, surveying the aftermath of the explosion. He expresses relief at his own escape, callously dismissing his former teammates as unfortunate casualties. The mysterious horned woman observes the lingering green energy left behind by the defeated boss. Her eyes glow as she absorbs the corrosive power, making it her own. Meanwhile, Yan Yong King stands defiantly in the crater, effortlessly neutralizing the boss's final attack. The hunter watches in utter disbelief, stunned that his target not only survived, but broke a rare boss's ultimate skill. He struggles to comprehend how a lower-level adventurer could accomplish such an impossible feat. A system notification announces Yan Yang King has leveled up to 6, his hand crackling with newfound power. A skill window reveals his flame shield has evolved into the more powerful and persistent flame armor. The hunter stares across the desolate landscape, completely baffled by his target's sudden and impossible power-up. The hunter panics, unable to comprehend how his target leveled up without fighting a single monster. The story flashes back 5 minutes, revealing Pondi grinning amidst a swirl of demonic energy. His minions stand victorious over a desolate battlefield, the remains of a great battle below them. They've cleared the entire dungeon floor, funneling a massive amount of experience directly to their master. The Knight minion notes that one of their own was just summoned away, confirming Yan Yang King is in trouble. Pondi grows restless, eager to be summoned to his master's side and join the fight. Back in the present, Yan Yang King glares up, preparing to face the colossal stone boss alone. The massive golem raises its foot, preparing to crush him with a single devastating stomp. He narrowly evades the attack, the ground shattering from the immense force of the impact. Yan Yang King calmly formulates a strategy, identifying the slow-moving giant's legs as its weak point. He unleashes a powerful slash with his dagger, aiming directly for the golem's ankle. The devastating strike sends the colossal boss stumbling, its stone body cracking under the pressure. The living wraith crashes to the ground, its immense weight shaking the entire cavern. Seeing his opening, Yan Yang King begins to channel a new, even more powerful ability into his hand. He leaps high above the fallen boss, his blade crackling with golden lightning as he prepares the final blow. With blinding speed, he descends upon the helpless golem, aiming for a decisive strike. His electrified blade smashes into the golem's head, creating a whirlwind of destructive energy. The boss's stone head shatters into countless pieces, signaling its apparent defeat. But as the dust settles, the boss reforms into a horned woman, weakened but still defiant. Yan Yang King wastes no time, delivering a light-infused punch directly to her face. Yan Yang King descends upon the boss, unleashing a spiraling vortex of golden energy. His light-infused strike connects with the boss's head, the impact cracking its stone form. He unleashes his Holy Light Flash skill, pouring every ounce of power into the final blow. The attack erupts in a cataclysmic explosion, incinerating everything in its path. The blast carves a massive crater into the dungeon floor, a testament to its raw power. The dwarf is stunned by the impossible victory, but his friend smirks, completely unsurprised by the display. Standing victorious in the crater, Yan Yang King senses that something about the fight feels off. He reflects that the battle was far too easy for a rare boss, draining his mana but lacking true intensity. He looks down to find the boss's remains are just a puddle of fizzing green energy. The corrosive essence bubbles and dissolves into the ground, leaving no trace of the defeated boss. The corrosive green energy left by the boss begins to coalesce, with chunks of rock rising from the ground. Suddenly, the energy erupts in a blinding flash, signaling that the battle is far from over. His flame armor activates just in time, but a system window warns his mana is dangerously low. The corrosive power intensifies, pushing his fiery defense to its absolute limit. The sheer force of the blast sends him stumbling backward, struggling to maintain his footing. He realizes with a grimace that his mana is nearly depleted, and his flame armor is about to fail. When the blast subsides, he finds the entire area shrouded in a thick, poisonous fog. His teammates watch from a distance, with the friend correctly guessing the fog is a byproduct of the boss's attack. The friend's expression turns grim as he understands the gravity of the new situation. He realizes the boss has entered a second phase and wonders why his leader isn't summoning his minions for help. Yan Yang King realizes his minions are leveling up fast. He cautiously navigates the foggy dungeon. He wonders if the battle is truly over. He prepares a concentrated blast of energy. The energy blast spirals outwards, clearing the fog. He watches the attack dissipate into the mist. A shadowy figure emerges from the fog. He realizes the attack was a diversion. A fierce clash of energies ensues. He analyzes the boss's tactics. The horned woman's eyes glow with renewed power, revealing her true form. Yan Yang King retaliates, swinging a massive golden blade with incredible force. Their powers collide as he nimbly dodges her counter, his blade arcing through the air. From a safe distance, the dwarf points out that the battlefield fog has finally cleared. His friend calls out, relieved to see Yan Yang King standing victorious and unharmed. Yan Yang King checks his experience gain as his friend explains the others went to retrieve the scattered ore. The scene shifts to the dark cave entrance where the dwarf's greed first led them astray. Inside, the dwarf gleefully gathers the valuable magic ore, his greed completely taking over. He proclaims that not a single piece of treasure will escape his grasp, his eyes wide with avarice. But his celebration is cut short as a massive foot descends, crushing a crystal just inches from his hand. The dwarf looks up in horror as the giant archer Eileen stands over him, questioning why she's stepping on his treasure. Eileen retorts with frustration, demanding to know what he's actually gathering from the cave floor. The dwarf's angry expression shifts to confusion as he begins to question his surroundings. His eyes widen in sheer terror as the illusion shatters and reality finally sets in. The treasure cave is revealed to be a horrifying pit filled with countless skeletons and bones. He realizes with dread that he's been tricked by the illusion of a legendary greedy dwarven king. He frantically empties his sack, only for skulls and bones to tumble out instead of precious ore. The dwarf collapses in despair, surrounded by the grim remains of his greed-fueled hallucination. He understands he was under a powerful charm spell the entire time, which clouded his judgment. He looks up at Eileen, questioning how she alone managed to resist the powerful illusion. Eileen theorizes her height saved her from the low-lying poison gas, while the dwarf's short stature made him vulnerable. Back on the surface, the friend tells Yan King he'll gather the others so they can finally leave the dungeon. He grows concerned when his leader doesn't respond, staring blankly ahead. Reaching out to get his attention, he calls Yan King's name and touches his shoulder. In a flash of movement, a swift, unseen strike slices through the air between them. The friend stares down in horror, realizing his arm has been cleanly severed at the wrist. His eyes widen in sheer terror and confusion, unable to process the sudden attack. He looks over to see Yan Yongqing has suddenly collapsed into a pile of rubble, completely unresponsive. The friend is bewildered, questioning how his powerful leader could have fallen so abruptly. Clutching his wound, he frantically wonders who attacked him, believing the dungeon boss was already dead. The friend reacts to a sudden, unseen attack. A horned woman stands over the fallen friend, her hand dripping with an unsettling substance. A high-angle view shows the fallen friend, the horned woman, and two other figures observing from a distance. The horned woman expresses interest in Yan Yongqing's unusual demonic aura. She prepares to investigate Yan Yongqing's collapsed form. A large hammer swings towards the horned woman. The horned woman reacts to the incoming hammer strike. The hammer impacts, sending a shockwave through the horned woman. The horned woman unleashes an energy blast towards the hammer's wielder. The dwarf watches the scene unfold, seemingly unaware of the danger. The dwarf and Yan Yongqing's friend succumbed to illusions and fought phantom foes. Argus, the night minion, laments arriving too late to prevent the incident. The horned woman wonders why the dwarf is still under the illusion's influence. A swift, unseen attack slices through the air, targeting the horned woman. The horned woman dodges the attack as a figure descends from above. The horned woman realizes the attacker is the giant archer, Eileen. The dwarf charges, swinging his hammer with a furious yell. The horned woman intercepts the dwarf's hammer with a powerful kick. Unfazed, the horned woman mocks the dwarf's weak attack. The horned woman prepares a counterattack, her hand glowing with green energy. The dwarf's face is bathed in an unsettling green glow, his eyes wide with shock. A figure leaps from a tree, unleashing a torrent of vibrant green energy. The horned woman stands amidst a swirling vortex of wind, seemingly unfazed. A shadowy figure descends from above, questioning their opponent's ability to dodge. A hand grips a leg, preventing escape. The horned woman expresses surprise, questioning the dwarf's survival. A figure grabs the dwarf, preventing further escape. The horned woman reacts to an incoming attack, her expression strained. A powerful impact sends the horned woman reeling, her body enveloped in a cloud of dust. The dwarf explains his defensive ability, revealing a tactical advantage. The dwarf's stone skin ability is revealed, granting temporary resistance to harmful effects. Smoke billows as the horned woman seems to have incapacitated the knight. She channels a potent green energy, preparing for another attack. A skill description reveals the devastating nature of her rapid corrosion ability. The archer observes from afar, surprised by the lack of damage to her target. The dwarf reacts with shock, noticing the horned woman is unharmed. The horned woman expresses her disdain for the adventurers, confident in her power. She unleashes a wave of corrosive energy, preparing to finish the fight. The archer calls out a warning, sensing the imminent danger. The horned woman's eyes lock onto a new target, her hunt continuing. She unleashes a deadly poison beam, a concentrated blast of corrosive energy. The beam streaks through the forest, locking onto the giant archer as its unsuspecting target. The attack finds its mark, sending the archer flying backward in a devastating explosion of green light. With the archer neutralized, the horned woman turns her attention back to her primary target, Yan Yongqing. She's shocked to find only a pool of blood where his friend once lay, questioning if he somehow survived. Her confusion deepens as she discovers the pile of rubble is empty, with Yan Yongqing also having vanished. The horned woman surveys the now empty battlefield, baffled by the mysterious disappearance of her prey. Unseen by her, a mysterious figure drags the injured friend to safety, leaving a grim trail behind. The rescuer is revealed to be the hunter, who has unexpectedly saved his teammate from certain doom. But their escape is short-lived, as the horned woman spots them and prepares another attack, vowing they won't get away. The horned woman unleashes a wave of corrosive green energy. The hunter is caught in the blast, bracing for impact. The hunter realizes the attack's severity, fear etched on his face. The corrosive energy explodes outward, engulfing the surrounding area. The horned woman assesses the damage, seemingly disappointed. Yan Yongqing analyzes the situation, trying to understand the horned woman's abilities. Yan Yongqing prepares to counter, focusing his energy. The horned woman questions Yan Yongqing's rapid level progression. A system notification confirms Yan Yongqing's level increased to 7. Pondi celebrates their master's level up, pleased with their progress. Yan Yongqing realizes the boss never intended a direct fight, its true weapon being far more subtle. He understands they've been breathing a faint poison gas since entering the dungeon, slowly falling into its trap. With a smirk, he gathers a swirling ball of energy, preparing to turn the boss's own trap against it. He knows his new level allows him to ignite the flammable poison gas, a trick he couldn't pull off before. The horned woman unleashes a desperate beam of corrosive energy, trying to stop his plan. Her attack slams into the ground, but it's too late to stop the inevitable chain reaction. Enraged, she unleashes a barrage of poison projectiles, hoping to overwhelm him with sheer numbers. Yan Yongqing effortlessly weaves through the storm of attacks, completely unfazed by her assault. Clad in his flame armor, he meets her attack head-on with a powerful fiery kick. The impact sends a shockwave through the cavern, his counterattack overpowering the boss's energy blast. Instead of taking damage, the horned woman's body crackles with green energy as she rapidly regenerates. Yan Yongqing watches in surprise, realizing the boss possesses a powerful self-healing ability. Enraged by the attack, she gathers a sphere of corrosive energy, vowing to make him pay. He formed a bundle of energy from his hand. Soon, the young man encountered a monster, and their power spread everywhere. The girl explained to our hero that it's useless because her poison vaporizes his flames and turns into toxic gas, and as soon as the young man inhales it, he'll be poisoned. But the young man didn't care about that. He just stuck his hand out and ignited her poison. She was shocked because she had not expected such an outcome. Soon, all that was left of it was an empty space and clouds of smoke. Yan Yongqing stands victorious over the smoldering crater, the battle seemingly won. He calmly accepts the experience points, his mission apparently complete. Below, the horned woman's body lies defeated, her energy dissipating into the ground. But it's a ruse, as she uses a familiar illusion to fake her demise and begin her escape. She vows to recover in secret before hunting down the rest of his vulnerable party members. Her vengeful plan is cut short as a beam of light flashes before her eyes. A golden trap erupts from the ground, stunning her as she realizes there's a sixth opponent. Before she can process the ambush, a massive demonic hand reveals a seventh combatant has joined the fight. The demon servant Pondi appears, effortlessly neutralizing the escaping boss. The horned woman is completely bewildered, unable to comprehend where these powerful new enemies came from. Pondi unleashes a devastating torrent of crimson energy. The horned woman is sent hurtling through the air by the sheer force. Another minion joins the fray, adding to the horned woman's surprise. The horned woman finds herself in a precarious situation, facing a monstrous maw. A large, armored creature reacts to a sudden impact. A powerful fist connects with the armored creature, sending shockwaves. The other minions question Pondi's actions, concerned about their master's plan. The horned woman is swallowed whole by the massive creature. Yan Yongqing observes the scene, assessing the horned woman's condition. Pondi looks to Yan Yongqing, awaiting further instructions. His minions bow in absolute loyalty, acknowledging their master's authority. The defeated boss scorns the minions for serving a human, declaring she would rather perish than submit. Yan Yongqing coldly prepares to grant her wish, ready to end her defiance permanently. The boss accepts her fate, choosing oblivion over the humiliation of serving a human. But instead of a final blow, she's engulfed in a golden light, her expression shifting to confusion. His minions look down on their newest recruit, with Pondi mockingly welcoming another underling to their ranks. The once proud boss now sits as a loyal servant, her will completely bound to her new master. She formally submits, bowing her head in a display of total obedience to Yan Yongqing. A system window details his new level 7 status and the powerful venom-based skills he's acquired from his new servant. He also receives valuable loot, including a tear of venom orb and rare crafting materials from the defeated boss. The demon servant Pondi revels in his own power-up, having leveled up alongside his master. His moment of triumph is interrupted as Eileen frantically calls out to him from across the crater. She carries the unconscious dwarf, explaining that their other teammates are in critical condition. With their healing potions exhausted, Yan Yongqing steps in to personally tend to his fallen comrades. But his knight minion insists on handling the task, eager to prove his own usefulness. The knight unleashes a powerful wave of golden healing energy from his armored form. This potent magic stabilizes their injuries, though it's not quite enough for a full recovery. As they recover, the party realizes the lesser stone golems have mysteriously vanished from the battlefield. Seizing the opportunity, the newly enslaved boss offers to lead him to a secret treasure cache. Pondi glares suspiciously at the newcomer, seeing her offer as a cunning attempt to win their master's favor. The knight's healing magic works on the friend, mending his grievous wound. Yan Yongqing notes their lives are saved, but a powerful priest will be needed to fully restore their lost limbs. He tasks the giant archer, Eileen, with escorting the wounded out of the dungeon, promising to cover all costs. For added security, he orders his assassin minion, Netahu, to accompany them as a bodyguard. Pondi eagerly accepts the new escort mission, while the other minions are tasked with opening the treasure. Yan Yongqing dismisses the cowardly hunter who fled, confident that his remaining team is well protected. Eileen carries her unconscious and injured comrades as the assassin minion follows, beginning their journey out. The assassin questions why she covered the dwarf, and Eileen explains his armor was dissolved, leaving him indecent. Pondi scoffs at this sentiment, declaring that from a demon's perspective, allies are merely tools to be used. He demonstrates his ruthless efficiency by smashing open a treasure chest with a single, powerful demonic strike. The assassin's eyes glow with fury as he senses an unexpected ambush. A powerful strike shatters the ground, signaling the start of a surprise attack. He is caught off guard as a chain whips out, striking him with incredible force. The chain smashes him against the cavern wall, the impact cracking the stone around him. He finds himself clashing with an opponent whose ambush tactics mirror his own. The assassin is pinned against the wall by a web of chains, completely immobilized by the trap. Eileen cries out in alarm, preparing to rush to her companion's aid. But the trapped assassin urgently warns her to look out for a threat behind her. Eileen freezes in terror as she realizes a sinister presence is looming just over her shoulder. Their ambusher is revealed to be the hunter Zhu Yin, grinning with malevolent intent. The assassin is ensnared, chains tightening around him. He struggles against his bonds, energy crackling around him. Eileen witnesses the assassin's capture, her concern evident. The hunter reveals himself, his expression full of malice. A treasure chest glows, revealing valuable contents within. Yan Yongqing's minion marvels at the discovered loot. Yan Yongqing seems perplexed by something. His minion inquires about his dissatisfaction. Yan Yongqing reveals his concern for the others. He gives his minion further instructions. The giant archer lies defeated, the victim of the hunter's treacherous ambush. The hunter, Zhu Yin, looms over the trapped assassin minion, who seethes with demonic energy from below. The assassin realizes he's been ensnared in a sticky, magic-infused trap, led down the only path out. Zhu Yin mocks his struggles, revealing his unique black tar trap is magically reinforced and inescapable. The hunter reveals his true level 7 status and his sinister plan to eliminate the minion before ambushing his master. Enraged at the threat to his master, the assassin questions the hunter's audacity, but Zhu Yin scoffs at the display. The hunter smirks, explaining that while one can hide their power, it's impossible to fake a higher level. The assassin's demonic aura erupts into a terrifying visage, challenging the hunter's perception of his power. The minion is stunned, realizing the hunter is truly level 7 and questioning how he leveled up so quickly. Zhu Yin smugly reveals he was already level 6 when he joined and hints he gained more than just the boss's experience. The hunter taunts the trapped minion, asking where the dungeon's monsters disappeared to. He reveals he secretly lured dozens of mobs away from the party to kill them and steal all the experience. The assassin realizes the betrayal and telepathically alerts his master to the hunter's confession. The hunter scoffs, preparing to finish the minion while promising to deliver his final words. But his attack is abruptly stopped as Yan Yongqing descends from above, surrounded by demonic energy. Yan Yongking glares at the hunter, confirming he heard every word of the treacherous plan. The hunter stares in disbelief, unable to comprehend how his target could be summoned by a minion. Enraged by the disrespect, the assassin vows to make the hunter pay for threatening his master. Yan Yongking calmly makes a hand gesture, preparing to unleash a new trapping skill. Massive stone pillars erupt from the ground, ensnaring the hunter in an inescapable cage. The hunter prepares a magical attack, his hand glowing with power. He launches himself at Yan Yongking, his blade aimed for a swift strike. Yan Yongking dodges the attack, his minion appearing at his side. The hunter crashes to the ground, the force of his missed attack evident. A large, ominous structure emerges from the ground, labeled Lover's Embrace. The hunter gloats, revealing he anticipated Yan Yongking's arrival. He explains his elaborate trap was specifically designed for Yan Yongking. He reaches out, activating another part of his deadly trap. Spiked projectiles burst from the ground, adding to the danger. The hunter observes, surprised that Yan Yongking hasn't been defeated yet. A burst of vibrant energy fills the panel, suggesting a powerful impact. Dust and debris fly as something forceful happens off-panel. Yan Yongking is pulled from the trap by a shadowy, multi-headed figure. Yan Yongking realizes the hunter used a decoy, explaining the lack of experience points. He surveys the damage, contemplating his next move. The hunter reveals he anticipated this and prepared a backup plan. He activates a sinister-looking trap, its energy crackling ominously. The hunter is startled by an unexpected development. He points, seemingly surprised by something he sees. He confronts a powerful, shadowy figure emerging from the trap. The minion unleashes a devastating wave of crimson energy, targeting the hunter's last known position. The fiery blast engulfs the entire area, leaving the hunter with nowhere to run. Caught in the explosion, the hunter is sent tumbling towards a swirling black portal. He internally curses the minion for forcing him to waste a valuable substitute trap. But his confidence shatters as a new, unexpected attack rains down from above. A colossal energy spike slams into the ground, narrowly missing the treacherous hunter. The impact triggers his own tar traps, which erupt from the ground in a sticky mess. The chain reaction continues as his field of ground spikes is also prematurely activated. A massive stone hand reveals another one of Yan Yongking's minions has joined the fray. The hunter stares in disbelief, realizing the night minion survived and just used an AoE attack to ruin his entire strategy. The hunter's face contorts in panic, realizing his traps are useless and he has no chance of winning. As he turns to run, a sinister vortex of demonic energy materializes to block his escape. The newly enslaved boss unleashes a barrage of glowing poison orbs, her eyes alight with power. The hunter is overwhelmed by the toxic assault, his body engulfed in corrosive green energy. The poison attack erupts in a massive blast, sealing the hunter's fate under the assassin's watchful eye. Yan Yongking coolly confirms the experience gain, ensuring it's not another one of the hunter's illusions. His new servant bows, assuring her master of her loyalty as the hunter's form dissolves from her poison. Yan Yongking prepares to settle the score, channeling the hunter's remaining energy into his hand. The hunter's spirit is reformed as a new demonic servant, his expression bewildered by his sudden transformation. The other minions surround their newest recruit, with the assassin mockingly welcoming the former traitor to their ranks. Yan Yongking addresses his assembled demonic minions, ready to delegate tasks. Argus is given a critical mission involving healing, transport, and maintaining a low profile. The remaining minions receive orders to prioritize experience grinding and rare monster hunting. Yan Yongking turns his attention to a specific minion, implying a unique assignment. The chosen minion, Netahu, is shrouded in a sinister red aura, hinting at their dangerous nature. Yan Yongking instructs Netahu to return to human form and infiltrate their enemies' ranks. Netahu is tasked with delivering a false report and gathering intelligence from within the enemy guilds. The minion expresses enthusiasm for the cunning plan, eager to carry out the deception. Meanwhile, other adventurers face a formidable level 10 mammoth boss in a desperate battle. A lone figure observes the chaotic scene from afar, their identity and motives yet to be revealed. A massive foot descends towards a lone adventurer. A knight braces for impact, calling for healing. A priest urges the knight to activate his defenses. The knight activates Unyielding Shield, a brilliant blue barrier. Confident, the knight boasts of his defensive prowess. The mammoth's attack connects, testing the shield's limits. The mammoth's immense power begins to overwhelm the shield. The shield shatters, sending the knight flying. Onlookers react in shock and despair. The ground collapses, swallowing several adventurers. The mammoth boss suddenly turns its head, its red eyes glowing with alarm. An adventurer cries out, pointing towards a figure on a nearby cliff. The powerful leader of the Jew Scorpion Guild stands atop the ridge, observing the chaos below. The desperate adventurers look up with renewed hope, believing their savior has arrived. Without hesitation, the guild leader leaps from the cliff, descending like a meteor towards the battle. He lands a devastating punch, his rocky fist connecting squarely with the mammoth's head. Revealing a draconic form, he unleashes a supergravity fist with immense power. The colossal mammoth is sent staggering backward, its immense body lifted by the sheer force of the blow. The guild leader presses his advantage, moving in a blur to deliver a rapid series of follow-up strikes. The mammoth's head is completely obliterated in a cataclysmic explosion, ending the fight in an instant. Debris flies everywhere as a powerful impact shakes the ground. A worried adventurer fears being caught in the crossfire. Another adventurer assures her they are at a safe distance. Suddenly, an unseen force strikes one of the adventurers. The female adventurer reacts in terror to the sudden violence. She and the armored figure flee the escalating danger. An injured adventurer reaches out desperately for help. A powerful explosion rocks the ground, obscuring everything in darkness. The aftermath reveals a crater marked with unsettling stains. A small dark object is propelled through the air at high speed. A small pouch tumbles across the desolate, cracked ground. The assassin minion, Netahu, walks through the debris field, his infiltration mission underway. He internally remarks on the guild leader's ruthlessness, admitting it surpasses even his own. The Draconic guild leader looms over him from a floating rock, questioning his presence with a veiled threat. Netahu callously suggests a cover story for the fallen adventurers, blaming them for trespassing. The guild leader cuts him off, impatiently demanding the real reason for his visit. With a confident smile, the assassin reports that he has successfully eliminated their targets. The leader dismisses the news as unimportant, telling him to report to a subordinate instead. As the leader departs, Netahu smirks, wondering if he's off to another secret meeting with the Angel. The guild leader's reptilian eye flashes, a glint of awareness suggesting he heard more than he let on. A brutal impact sends someone sprawling, the scene filled with motion and the suggestion of violence. A draconic figure looms, issuing a warning about ending up like the unfortunate remains scattered around. Someone scrambles on cracked earth as an unseen force strikes from above. Even at level 7, the character feels overwhelmed by the draconic lizard's power. Frustrated, the character hopes for a power boost and plans to grind for experience points. At the Angel Temple, someone seeks an audience with a powerful figure. A report is given about a suspected survivor from 5 years prior having been dealt with. A reward is requested, specifically an epic dungeon key. The request is questioned, as a previous reward of an entire region seemed insufficient. The draconic figure explains the limitations of experience gain after level 10. A powerful attack sends a figure reeling. A voice commands the attack to stop. A draconic figure reacts to a near miss. The attacker reminds the dragon of a past favor. The dragon acknowledges the debt and bows submissively. The dragon's expression shifts to apprehension. A large crack appears in the ground before a temple. The crack deepens, revealing a hidden passage. The dragon contemplates the risks of his situation. A shadowy figure observes a dark portal. A figure stands before a crackling dark portal. He's approached by a masked individual within the portal's energy. He steps through the portal, entering a hidden area. He finds himself in a subterranean settlement filled with domed structures. He's warned about the rules of the hidden market. He acknowledges the warning and takes in his surroundings. He observes the ingenuity of the market's location. The masked individual explains the market's specialty. He retrieves a golden key, a sought-after item. He offers a token of appreciation for the key. The masked figure compliments Yan Yongqing's shrewdness. He offers to expedite Yan Yongqing's entry, bypassing a long queue. Yan Yongqing observes the extensive line of waiting people. The masked figure explains the queue is for dungeon keys. He offers some unsolicited advice about dungeon keys and levels. A visual representation of a dungeon key is displayed. Information about normal dungeons is presented. Details of advanced dungeons and their inhabitants are shown. The characteristics of epic dungeons are described. Legendary dungeons and their challenges are explained. Yan Yongqing ponders the potential for infinite upgrades. The masked figure reveals a frustrating limitation of the dungeon system. Yan Yongqing sweats, clearly bothered by the news. He inquires about a discrepancy in the dungeon tiers. The masked figure cryptically dismisses discussion of the final tier. A large crowd of adventurers gathers for an important event. The auctioneer announces the start of the dungeon key auction. A level 10 advanced dungeon key is presented for bidding. An adventurer eagerly places the opening bid. Another participant quickly raises the stakes with a higher bid. A mysterious woman is stunned as the bidding war for the key escalates. Yan Yong King's companion eyes the woman, noting she's an unfamiliar face in the crowd. Unseen by the others, a sinister red energy begins to swirl around her feet. The dark power lashes out, subtly incapacitating a nearby adventurer who collapses without a sound. She delivers another swift, unseen strike, taking down a second person in the bustling crowd. The masked companion advises Yan Yong King against bidding, calculating the low profit margin of the dungeon. He questions Yan Yong King's strategy, reminding him that a level 10 dungeon is the only viable option for a level 7 adventurer. A new bidder boldly throws down a massive sum, winning the key as the crowd erupts in excitement. The masked companion scoffs as the winner is immediately swarmed by opportunistic adventurers looking for a cut. The auctioneer wastes no time, presenting the next advanced dungeon key for bidding. The auctioneer dramatically announces the end of advanced dungeon keys. The crowd anticipates the next item, buzzing with excitement. A level 10 epic dungeon key appears, sparking intense interest. The crowd reacts to the steep starting price, weighing the risks and rewards. A cautionary tale of a failed dungeon raid highlights the dangers of epic dungeons. A substantial bid is placed, escalating the competition for the key. The guild leader of Jew Scorpion makes a grand entrance with a generous bid. The masked companion warns Yan Yong King about the power required for epic dungeons. Hours earlier, Yan Yong King receives information about the guild leader's presence. Yan Yong King questions his recognition by the guild leader, receiving reassurance. The masked companion speculates on the guild leader's sudden obsession with leveling up. He recalls the leader's recent visit to the Angel Temple, which seems to have triggered this change. Back at the auction, the Draconic leader makes a bold bid, daring anyone to challenge him. But his confidence shatters as a new, unexpected bid leaves him stunned and furious. The challenger is revealed to be a mysterious woman who smirks confidently at the commotion. She raises the stakes to a staggering 1 million, shocking the guild leader and the entire crowd. Yan Yong King watches the bidding war, thinking the price for the key is getting absurdly high. His companion agrees, calculating that even for an epic key, such a price is a guaranteed loss. Yet, the masked figure's expression hints that there's more to this than a simple financial calculation. A sinister glint in Yan Yong King's eye reveals he sees an opportunity where others only see risk. The Draconic leader makes a commanding bid, certain of his victory. But his confidence is shattered as a counterbid of 1.5 million echoes through the hall. He glares into the crowd, realizing the mysterious woman is once again challenging him. The woman responds with a provocative wink, clearly enjoying his frustration. Enraged, the guild leader escalates the bidding to a staggering 2 million. Unfazed, she immediately raises the price, continuing their high-stakes rivalry. The bidding war spirals out of control as the price skyrockets past 4 million. The guild leader seethes, convinced she's just toying with him and vowing to make her regret it. In a final, decisive move, he throws down a massive bid of 5 million. The crowd erupts in awe, stunned by the guild leader's extravagant display of wealth and power. The guild leader smirks, daring her to outbid him, certain she'll fold. But she suddenly withdraws, leaving the stunned leader with the winning bid. He's left completely baffled, trying to process how he was so easily outmaneuvered. His confusion quickly turns to fury as he realizes he's been played. He furiously demands to know where she went, but the crowd has no answers. Looming over the hall, he vows to find the woman and make her pay for the humiliation. Elsewhere, Yan Yong King and his companion leave the auction, the companion apologizing for the outcome. The masked figure laments that an unknown party interfered with their plans. Yan Yong King calmly replies that challenging the guild leader would have been a struggle regardless. As they part ways, the companion promises to alert him to future rare auctions. A dark, swirling energy gathers around a foot. A woman praises Yan Yong King for manipulating someone. They discuss the unfortunate financial outcome of their plan. The woman reacts with surprise to an unexpected statement. A sharply dressed man confronts the woman. The woman accuses the man of eavesdropping. The woman's piercing green eyes focus intently. A single eye, magnified by a lens, glows intensely. The man reveals the woman's temporary demonic servitude. The man explains how he exploited the situation to his advantage. The woman realizes Yan Yong King's plan at the auction. Yan Yong King holds a card with a substantial amount of money. The woman asks about the epic dungeon key. A phone displays a transaction confirmation. Yan Yong King thanks his level 10 assassin. Yan Yong King reveals he acquired the key. The woman questions the lower key price. A lizard-like creature observes the scene. The creature reveals the woman acquired a limited key. The creature recruits 2 armored figures. The guild leader's new recruit sweats, realizing a mission with his master is a death sentence. But their entry is blocked as a system notification declares the dungeon is already full and locked. The Draconic leader fumes, confused as to how the dungeon filled up with only 2 entrants. His cowardly recruits celebrate their narrow escape, relieved to have avoided certain doom. Frustrated, the leader decides to abandon the epic dungeon and deal with his rival later. Elsewhere, Yan Yongqing addresses his own loyal minions, thanking them for their successful deception. Now a level 10 demon lord, he confidently promises to power level his entire demonic retinue. He praises his assassin's disguise skill, which proved instrumental in their auction house scheme. Clasping his hands, he prepares to announce a reward for their loyalty and success. He grants them the ability to create their own underlings, transforming his minions into commanders of their own legions. The minions celebrate their newfound ability to command their own legions. One minion wonders where Pondi has gone. Pondi is revealed to be already engaging enemies, prioritizing experience gain. Another minion explains the new rules of minion hierarchy in favor. Yan Yongqing observes his minions, preparing to join them. He checks in with Netahu about the situation outside the dungeon. Netahu reports that the guild leader is clearing his own dungeon. Yan Yongqing uses his new stealth skill to remain hidden. He spots some monsters nearby. He discovers a group of creatures working in a mine-like environment. A rat-headed miner glares menacingly, its level revealed. The miner points accusingly, seemingly agitated. The miners are thrown into disarray by a powerful force. A demonic figure appears, challenging the miners. The demonic figure reacts to an unexpected attack. A bright, explosive energy engulfs the scene. A stream of vibrant green liquid flows through the environment. The demonic figure is enveloped in a protective aura. The demonic figure's expression hardens with determination. The demonic figure engages in a close-quarters confrontation. One of Yan Yongqing's minions alerts her companion, realizing they've been targeted by a surprise attack. The demonic duo retaliates, unleashing a chaotic storm of dark energy against their unseen foes. The minion scolds her newly created underlings, who argue that shame has no place in a demon's arsenal. She leads her new legion in a ferocious charge, overwhelming the dungeon's inhabitants with sheer numbers. Yan Yongqing watches the flood of experience points roll in, smirking at the efficiency of his new farming method. Meanwhile, in another dungeon, a giant insectoid monster is struck down in a messy confrontation. A knight from the guild leader's party struggles to catch his breath after felling a single creature. The Draconic leader looms over his defeated subordinate, expressing his disgust at their poor performance. He fumes over his team's incompetence, lamenting that they're losing members before even reaching the boss. With his remaining forces, the guild leader prepares to face the final challenge, demanding his troops stay alert. A hulking, three-eyed rat-head boss emerges, identified as the level 10 ruler of the dungeon mines. His minions make short work of the boss, earning Yan Yongqing another effortless level up. Now level 11, he reflects that his subordinates are so powerful he can gain experience without even trying. Unimpressed by the weak boss, he casually reaches down to absorb its remaining energy. A swirling vortex of dark power consumes the defeated creature, leaving nothing behind. Having cleared the area, he now stands before the intimidating entrance to a level 11 epic dungeon. He instructs his forces to gather all the loot and resources to be sold at the market later. With business handled, he steps forward, ready to conquer the next challenge. Inside, his minions immediately swarm a massive, chained creature trapped within a pool of corrosive liquid. The experience points flood in as his demonic legion tears through the dungeon's inhabitants, leveling up at an incredible rate. A system notification confirms another level up as his minions overwhelm their foes. Now level 19, Yan Yongqing casually remarks that epic dungeons seem overrated, questioning how anyone could fail. Elsewhere, a knight from the Jew Scorpion Guild cries out in desperation as a massive hand crushes him. His party is being decimated by a level 14 Minotaur boss, their numbers dwindling rapidly. The Draconic Guild leader is forced to intervene, unleashing a furious attack on the beast. His powerful blow connects, sending the Minotaur reeling from the sheer force. The impact shatters the ground, leaving the few surviving adventurers to watch in awe and fear. The guild leader seethes with rage, furious that only 2 of his team remain in a level 15 dungeon. He berates his remaining subordinates, regretting his decision to recruit such incompetent allies. But his tirade is cut short as one of his knights looks back in terror, sensing a new danger. The Draconic Guild leader reacts with suspicion to something unexpected. A powerful dark energy erupts, hinting at a formidable presence. A massive minotaur emerges, its level and name revealed. A knight questions how a monster bypassed the portal's magical seal. The guild leader reacts, summoning a protective barrier. The minotaur unleashes a powerful attack, shaking the dungeon. The guild leader unleashes a devastating counterattack. Despite his attack, the guild leader is puzzled by the minotaur's resilience. The guild leader's expression hardens, determined to press the attack. The minotaur disappears into the dust cloud, leaving an ominous feeling. A lone figure floats above a dark, swirling portal amidst a desolate landscape. A man sits at a makeshift desk labeled Fee, looking perplexed. A foot steps forward, leaving a trail of dark energy. A young man approaches the portal and the desk, seemingly unfazed. A hand reaches out, stopping the young man's progress. The man at the desk demands a dungeon tax. The young man questions the tax collector's presence and affiliation. The tax collector boasts about his guild's power and their master's strength. The young man inquires about the consequences of refusing to pay. The tax collector describes a gruesome fate for those who don't comply. Yan Yongqing calmly asks if the tax collector is referring to the person he just pointed at. The collector's bravado shatters as he watches a previous dissenter get launched into the sky. The unfortunate adventurer disappears over the treetops, their fate a grim lesson for all to see. A colossal horned figure descends from the heavens, its shadow falling over the terrified collector. The massive minotaur boss soars through the air, a terrifying sight against the mountain range. It lands with earth-shattering force, its very presence cracking the ground beneath it. Yan Yongqing watches from a distance as the beast perches atop a mountain, surveying its new domain. The tax collector panics, screaming that a dungeon boss has escaped and they're all doomed. A system-wide alert confirms the danger, ordering all adventurers to evacuate the area immediately. The minotaur glares down at the broken form of the adventurer who defied the tax, a clear warning to others. The minotaur's fist connects with brutal force, shattering the ground around its target. It follows up by smashing a massive boulder down, intending to obliterate the tax collector's victim. The injured lizard man watches in terror, unable to move as the rock descends upon him. But before the boulder can land, a mysterious flash of red energy erupts from an unknown source. From a distant cliff, a powerful mage appears to unleash a swirling vortex of energy toward the battlefield. She is revealed to be the level 30 guild master of Stardust, a formidable mage observing the chaos. Her subordinate praises her incredible long-range accuracy, believing she saved the adventurer. The guildmaster is left bewildered, realizing the attack wasn't hers as she hadn't even finished her spell. Below, the tax collector is thrown into disarray as the mysterious blast rocks the landscape. The injured lizard man looks up with a glimmer of hope, assuming a powerful mage has come to their rescue. A shadowy figure emerges from the dust and debris. A draconic face appears, scarred and alert. Juyin addresses his guild leader, noticing his disheveled appearance. The injured lizard man asks if Zhu Yin was responsible for saving him. The guild leader ponders Zhu Yin's unexpected competence. He wonders about Zhu Yin's hidden power level. He dismisses the possibility of Zhu Yin being significantly stronger. He convinces himself Zhu Yin's actions were a fluke. Zhu Yin looks up, seemingly planning his next move. A large object hurtles towards Zhu Yin. The minotaur boss roars, a targeting reticle locking onto its head. An unseen projectile slams into the beast's chest, staggering it mid-charge. The minotaur's glowing red eyes narrow, focusing on the distant source of the attack. The hunter, Zhu Yin, stands poised, his elite hunter set amplifying his trap-based abilities. Enraged, the minotaur leaps from its mountain perch, launching itself towards its challenger. The cliff edge explodes into a shower of rock and debris from the force of its jump. Zhu Yin calmly unleashes a net shot, firing a crackling arrow to intercept the airborne beast. The arrow transforms into a massive glowing net that soars through the air. The magical net completely ensnares the charging minotaur, wrapping it in a cage of blue energy. The once terrifying boss lands harmlessly at the hunter's feet, reduced to a tightly bound package. The hunter triggers an explosive trap, blasting the entire mountaintop where he stands. Netahu telepathically urges his master to unleash his powerful demon form for the fight. A system window details the significant combat bonuses granted by the upgraded demon form. But Yan Yongqing refuses, wanting to avoid revealing his true power to the many onlookers. The assassin suggests a ruthless solution, but Yan Yongqing strictly forbids harming any human witnesses. Back on the battlefield, Zhu Yin activates another trap, causing massive spikes to erupt from the earth. The minotaur breaks free from the net, leaping over the ground spikes to attack the hunter. It lands with devastating force, just as another of the hunter's projectiles flies towards it. The hunter sets his next trap, a field of razor-sharp spikes that were aimed at the monster. The Minotaur screamed in agony, not expecting dozens of spears to pierce its body. The hunter coolly assesses the limited damage from his spike trap, already planning his next move. The Minotaur's true power is revealed, its level a staggering 24, far higher than anticipated. The Stardust Guildmaster uses her insight skill, piercing the boss's level disguise. Her subordinate expresses doubt, noting the massive 4-level gap between the hunter and the beast. He compares the situation to his master's own legendary feats, but dismisses the hunter's chances. The Guildmaster watches intently, a single word suggesting she doesn't share her subordinate's skepticism. The Minotaur scales the massive cliff face, relentlessly pursuing its target. The hunter leaps away, baiting the beast into another camouflaged and deadly blast trap. The ground erupts in a fiery explosion as the hidden trap detonates with immense force. The entire cliff face is engulfed in a cataclysmic blast, obscuring the outcome of the deadly gambit. The aftermath of the explosion reveals intense fiery energy. A fiery fist punches through the smoke and debris. The Minotaur is sent hurtling through the air by the impact. Someone analyzes the hunter's seemingly simple strategy. The Minotaur unleashes a powerful enraged transformation. The hunter is sent flying through the air. The hunter realizes the Minotaur's speed has increased. The hunter prepares a sticky trap. The Minotaur's foot sinks into the dark, sticky substance. The Minotaur struggles against the sticky trap's effects. The hunter takes aim with his bow, a serious expression on his face. The Minotaur braces for impact, multiple projectiles heading its way. The hunter comments on the effectiveness of the trap, but deems it insufficient. A female observer disagrees, hinting at a deeper understanding of the situation. The hunter fires a special arrow imbued with a fiery trap. The Minotaur reacts as the trap detonates, small explosions erupting on its body. A large explosion fills the panel, obscuring the immediate outcome. An observer notes the significant damage inflicted but desires more. The female observer confirms the attack wasn't enough to achieve their goal. The hunter assesses the damage from a distance, the smoke clearing from the blast. The hunter warns his unseen allies to stay alert, sensing the battle is far from over. Suddenly, he's sent flying backward as a shadowy blur rushes past him. The Minotaur lands with a ground-shattering impact, proving it's still very much in the fight. Using the force of the blow, the hunter redirects his momentum, leaping towards a nearby cliff. He lands gracefully near another one of his preset traps, a massive net strung between two trees. But in a surprising twist, he finds himself caught in his own web, tangled in the net. Annoyed by his predicament, he reluctantly calls out to the female mage for assistance. The Guildmaster smirks, amused that the prideful hunter is finally asking for help. With a dramatic flourish, she unleashes a toxic miasma, creating a vast cloud of poisonous fog. Engulfed in the toxic cloud, the hunter remains confident, assuring her he won't be taken down so easily. The Minotaur is enveloped by the thick green poison cloud, its movements slowed by the toxic fumes. With a powerful leap, the beast attempts to escape the suffocating miasma, clearing its lungs. It smashes into the ground, creating a shockwave that begins to disperse the poisonous fog. The force of its landing clears a wide circle, but the beast remains surrounded by the lingering poison. An onlooker observes the sudden appearance of the dense toxic fog, unaware of its true purpose. The poison coalesces into volatile black orbs all over the Minotaur's body, a sign of the hunter's true trap. The hunter reveals his true gambit, activating an exploding gas bomb to ignite the very air. The entire battlefield erupts in a cataclysmic explosion, engulfing the Minotaur in a storm of fire.